People are speaking out about pre-departure COVID tests. You need one before you board a flight out of the country, but many travelers say the costs are outrageous, and the companies who administer them, they argue, need to be reined in. Tim Segato and his husband are planning a big trip to the UK to see his husband's mom.
So it's been a little over 2 years since we've been able to see her. So now that Canada is on the green list for travel to the UK, we booked a trip to go see her.
But the cost to do so is high, and not just for the plane tickets.
Leaving, it's $199 each for us.
Segato was talking about pre-departure COVID tests required for international travel. There was a time when the province of Ontario paid for those tests, but that ended in December of last year. So Segato's question?
When the province ended testing, they mentioned that it cost the taxpayers about $48 per test. And now that we have to pay for our own tests through private clinics, the costs just seem to be astronomical.
So why the price disparity? According to the Ontario Pharmacists Association, the private testing model is very different than the publicly funded program. They went on to say PCR testing requires contract with a lab facility. Service fees include cost of test, service provision, and shipping costs, which are market-driven. But many argue the companies behind these tests aren't losing money on the deal.
Many companies have seen and taken advantage of a scenario where when people need something, they can supply it.
Marty Firestone is president of Travel Secure, a travel insurance brokerage. He says there's no clear structure on what the tests cost.
It's not like the test is any stronger that's ready in 15 minutes that's ready the next day. It's I hate to say it, pay as you play. You want your test results in an hour, it's $300. You want to wait a day, it's $159.
I've seen it upwards of $280 for a test. So, that kind of cost is just crazy. So I think that the government should definitely look into putting some sort of regulations or caps on how much can be charged for these tests.
That's what happened in the UK. After public outcry, the government there is now regulating private testing companies. Also has lowered the cost of pre-departure COVID tests. But we checked. So far, no plans in place to do the same here in Canada. CityNews reached out to all members of Parliament serving on the House of Commons Standing Committee on Health. Only one got back to us. The costs are excessive and ought to be regulated. We need national leadership to deal with this, said MP Don Davies, but he did not say what he plans to do to change that. So why the silence?
Our government is advising us to avoid all non-essential travel. So you can argue that why are they going to pay for something that is enabling you to travel? And this may be a perfect example of that.
Travelers like Segato aren't looking for a handout. They just want some oversight.
I just feel like the province or the federal government should be regulating this. If it's a government mandated test, then there should be regulations put in place, because I feel like, there might be some people looking to cash in on the ability to charge people for these tests right now.
If you have an issue, story, or question you'd like us to look into, we'd love to hear from you. Hit us up by going to the Speaker's Corner section on the City News website. At Pearson, Pat Taney, City News.